Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Uh-oh. Looks like we might be having a little bit of a connection issue here. Ugh. Hmm. Perfect. Okay, and we are live, but not on Saturday night. Happy Wednesday. I am glad that you've taken some time to join us again as we continue to work through these oils that Young Living has put out that can really transform our vitality, our health, our wellness, and really to make us better people and able to do things that maybe we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So before we jump in, I'm going to give just a few seconds here to let some people join us and log on. As you are logging on, as always, if you would, show me a little bit of love. Go ahead and, if you would, if I can figure out what I'm saying here, if you would, put your comment in the comments section, maybe your name, let me know that you're here, also what state you're in or what town if you want to do that. Also, like the video if you would, or share it. Invite some of your friends to come and join us tonight. I love what somebody said. Hi, Heather, you can't hear. Your video is not working. Okay, well, thanks for the like. Go ahead and if you're having a hard time hearing us, try and refresh the page or log out and log back in and see if you can correct it that way. Hi, Antel. Glad you could join us tonight. So I love what I heard over the weekend. One of the people in Young Living that I heard speak said, you know, when you learn something good, when you know something good, you have a moral obligation to go and tell other people about it. And I firmly agree with that and believe that. And so, you know, if you've got somebody that's been on your mind that you're going, man, these people would be really benefit from having some oils and some change in their life. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome. Do me a favor. Just take a quick minute, throw out a quick invite to them on Facebook, get them on the video tonight, and let's help educate them about just a fantastic oil and some things that they can do to help improve their overall health and wellness. So I'll give about another 5 seconds or so as people are logging in. All right, and tonight I'm really excited. We are talking about an ancient oil that most of us have heard from time to time called frankincense. And yes, you see me looking down again. I've got my note cards again here in front of me just to make sure I cover everything as well as it needs to be. So also, let me just let you know. Hi, Sharon. Welcome. Can't hear. Oh. Okay, they may have to click the sound icon. Thank you for putting that in, Sharon. I appreciate that. I'm actually starting to feel like I'm coming down a little bit under the weather, so if I'm not as active or as bright and cheery as I've been in the last few nights, I just want to let you know that that's why. I do have my water here. I've been lathering the oils on today, so I'm hoping by tomorrow I feel back up and 100%. But I love doing these classes, so I'm glad to be here and get to spend the next 20 minutes or so with you. So frankincense, let's go ahead and jump in. Frankincense is what we are talking about. That'd be Young Living's frankincense oil. It does come in 2 varieties, as have the last 3 oils that we've looked at. Hi, Heather. So frankincense comes in the normal as well as the vitality line. So you can use it topically, aromatically, as well as you can ingest it. Now, frankincense from a cooking perspective, I'll just throw this out and we'll talk about it a little bit more later. I don't know that I would do that, just so you know, but we'll talk more about it in a few minutes. First, let's kind of back up and actually talk a little about the history of frankincense. So frankincense, based on the archaeological records that we have been able to find, and we, not being me, people much smarter than me who are out there, you know, doing history and research and all that kind of stuff, they have found evidence that frankincense has been being used for more than 5,000 years. So it goes back to like the 16th century BC. So it's been around for a long, long time, which is incredible because that means it's nothing new for us, right? So people look at us and say, oh, you know, oil is not sure about that. Well, hey, guess what? People have been using this stuff for 5,000 years. It works. So, you know, that's some really good things. Historically, frankincense has been used in a number of ways. One, it was used in religious rituals and practices, not just in Judaism, but also in several other non-Jewish religions in antiquity. It's also been used throughout the years by antiquity healers. They weren't really physicians. They weren't really doctors at that point, but they were healers. And frankincense was something that they commonly used in helping to treat people. Now, we don't use frankincense to treat people any longer. The FDA has not approved it for treating people, for treating diseases or illnesses or anything of that nature. And so, you know, we use it to support our bodies and the systems within our bodies. We're going to talk about that tonight a little bit. So let's take in and dig in a little bit. So what is it about frankincense that makes it so good? It has a number of different what we call monoterpenes. So we've talked the last couple of nights about D-limonene. D-limonene is also in frankincense, although in not as strong of a concentration as it was in lemon, but it's still there. And so we know that that's really good for things like digestion and your bowels and that kind of stuff. But more than the D-limonene, frankincense also has alpha and beta pinenes in it, which is just a different type of a monoterpene. And if you're like me, when I first started learning about this, it was like, what is this stuff? Basically, these are really good for you, okay? And so I can't go into really great detail about what the alpha and beta pinenes do for you. What I would recommend is research them. To give you a little teaser, I will tell you that they're good for anti-beep and anti-beep. Okay, now go find out what the anti-beeps were because I'm not allowed to say it. All right, but it's really good. It really helps in a number of different ways. And so the chemical constituents of frankincense are really strong. Really, frankincense, in my opinion, is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of oils. If you could only put one oil on and have it do the most you possibly could, frankincense would be that oil. That's part of why frankincense is not the cheapest oil that's out there. From back in ancient times, when Jesus walked around the earth, it was one of the oils that the wise men brought to Jesus. They brought him gold and frankincense and myrrh. And at that point, frankincense was actually more valuable than gold was. And so it's really something that has been looked at over the years as something that's very powerful, something that really is beneficial for people. And so we continue to use it now, and we see the benefits of using it. Sorry, my lovely wife came walking down the hall, so I was looking up to say hello to her. So what is it that frankincense can be used for? Hi, Stephanie. Glad you could join us tonight. So frankincense can be used for a number of different things. Like I said, it's kind of the Swiss Army knife of the essential oils. So it can be used to help support emotional balance. That's a really good thing. Let's see. Between the oil, oh, that's a great question, Antel. So this is actually a great time. I'll talk about that in a minute. So the resin is really it's like a solid, and so it's something that you could burn. You could put it on a warmer, but it's not really something that you're going to ingest or you're going to rub on your skin. And so the oil is, and so that's one of the biggest differences there. So the resin can be used for just kind of the aromatic properties, which is really good. But if you really want to get it in you and on you, then you really want to go with the oil because of its ability to get into your system and impact every cell of your body. I hope that makes sense, that answers your question. That's the best I can answer it at this point. If that doesn't answer it, I can do a little bit more research or point you to some resources that you might be able to get some more information on the differences there. But great question. Thank you for answering or for asking that. Going back to what it's good for, so it's definitely good for emotional balance, just to help keep those emotions regulated. Most people that I know use it for some of the other things that's really good for. So it's really good to support a healthy immune system, and that's both an internal and an external immune system. I'll just leave it at that. And so again, go research the alpha and beta pinene, and you'll understand what I mean by maybe the external immune system. But it's also really good to support a healthy central nervous system and healthy skin. If your skin is getting wrinkly, if it's starting to show signs of aging, start putting some frankincense on it, and it really works well for that. And part of why is frankincense really is just good for overall cell health throughout your body. As we've talked about previously, one drop, you put one drop on your skin, it starts getting in, it will impact every cell of your body within about 20 minutes. And that's really incredible. And so it gives, it shows a lot of love to everything in your body, and just really helps to build you up and keep you healthy in a lot of different ways. I so wish I could tell you some stories of how we've used frankincense in our homes from what we've seen it do, but because the FDA has not said that this cures anything or this heals anything, I can't share that with you. But definitely go read about the alpha and the beta pinenes, because you'll get some ideas there. So how to use frankincense. I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself some of these nights because of how we're talking about this. One, aromatically. Of course, stick it in a diffuser, stick it on a necklace, stick it in your hands and inhale it that way. That's fine. So if you want to have it impact your eyes, here's what I would do. So as we've talked about, when you put oils on, it doesn't matter where or if you ingest them, it's going to go in your body, it's going to get to the part of your body that you need. If for some reason you want to get it more directly to your eyes, do not put it in your eyes. It will probably not feel very good. But what you can do is put some frankincense in your hand and then just cup it over your eyes like so, and just leave it there for a little while. And that is a really great way of getting that into that section of your body if you need to. Again, you're not putting it directly on your eye, just cupping it over it. Okay, almost like you would if you were going to inhale it, but just over your eye instead of over your nose and your mouth. People that I know use frankincense actually more either topically or to ingest it. So topically, if you've got something on your skin, you put it right on that area, and that's going to help. You can always, if you don't really care for the smell, you can always put it on the bottom of your feet or that kind of thing. What if you wear contacts? Great question, Heather. If you wear contacts, what I would recommend, take your contacts out first. That way there's no issues with maybe drying out the contacts or anything like that. I don't think that would happen, but it's always better to be safe rather than sorry is kind of my thinking. So just take them out. Like if you're getting ready to go to bed and you've got something going on with your eyes, and you want to see if frankincense is going to help with it, take your contacts out, put a little bit of frankincense on your hands, and just cup it over your eye and see what happens. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised about what the results are there. But topically, put it on. Just like lavender, it doesn't hurt. Even if you've got an open sore or anything like that, I've used it. It doesn't hurt at all. And it really helps with the immune system to help support that, make it do what it's supposed to do. If you don't care for the aroma of it, because it is kind of a little bit stronger, kind of a woodsy sort of smell, put it on the bottoms of your feet, stick your socks on. That's a great way to make sure that you don't have to smell it. It is a little bit stronger if you do put it in your diffuser, just to be warned. Now, if you want to ingest it for some reason, there's some great reasons to ingest it. Again, I would encourage you look up some of what the alpha and beta pinenes do, and also some of what frankincense directly has been used for, and you'll understand why you might want to ingest it. If you do, I don't know that I would cook with it because it's not a flavor that it makes my palate savor, we'll say. But the properties of it is something that my body might most certainly want. And so what you would want to do is you could put it in a capsule. So there are vegan and vegetarian capsules that you can get from Young Living. Mix it with a little bit of carrier oil just to dilute it a little bit. Maybe 3 or 4 drops in the capsule, and then 3 or 4 drops of your carrier oil, and then just ingest it that way. You could always also just put it in some water and drink it if you can get past, if you don't have a problem with the flavor of it. So there's a number of ways to take it internally if that's what you want to do. Now, I do want to put out a caution to you. So as I was doing some of the research, one place I saw a caution about letting children use frankincense internally, and specifically children under 6. So two things with that. One, if you've got a child that you want to give frankincense to who's under 6, just be really cautious. Go really light on the dosing at first, and really, really dilute it. Okay. Or maybe just rub it on topically, diffuse it in the diffuser as opposed to giving it to them internally. I think part of the reason for that is because the digestive system is still fairly delicate at that age, and it might be a little bit more rough on children than it's going to be on older kids and adults. So just a word of warning, if you've got the kids or if you're talking to somebody who's got kids, under 6, they don't really recommend, thanks for the like, they don't really recommend that they ingest it. Okay, so that's that, and that, I know it's a little bit short. We're only 15 minutes in, but that's all I've got for frankincense, man. I was so excited to talk about tonight because it's just such an incredible oil. But I have to be really careful of what I say as well. So definitely go back and do some research on frankincense, look it up on WebMD, look up the alpha and beta pinings, and then, yeah, just go ahead and we've got some time. Send in any questions that you've got. I'd be happy to answer them or help direct you to places that that you need to go. So, until you said, is it bad if you don't mix the oils with a carrier oil and vegetable caps to ingest? And just put oil only in the caps. Hi, Kim. Welcome. So, Antel, it depends on the oil, and it depends on your digestive system. So, a lot of times I'll take some of the oils directly. You know, I'll put it in water. I might take it that way. I don't use a carrier oil. I don't actually use the caps. If I'm not putting it in water, I'll stick it under my tongue. So the reason for that, actually, let me talk about that for a second. So if you're going to ingest one of the oils, when you put it into your digestive tract, it isn't as potent when it comes through, and it actually starts impacting your body as it is when it goes in. And so one of the things that you can do to avoid that, if you're okay with the taste, is you can actually take the oil and just put a drop or two underneath your tongue. And that's a very shallow piece of skin. There's a lot of blood vessels there, and it soaks in really quickly. You bypass the digestive tract, and so you're getting the full potency of the oil in that way, as well as getting it in your mouth and internally. Actually makes it more potent than even putting it on your skin. One of the people I heard talk about this said that it was like 1 drop under your tongue is like 5 drops going into your stomach. So the potency is that much greater. And that is, if my memory serves correctly. So let me look that up, and I'll make some contacts. And tomorrow when we meet, I'll let you know for sure what that ratio under the tongue versus ingesting it in a cap. But the reason they recommend for dilution is just to avoid an upset stomach. So there's some oils that could upset your stomach if you take them full strength, frankincense being one of those. So I hope that answered your questions, Antel, about that. If not, go ahead and type in, and I'd be happy to expound more as much as I can. Anybody else? Any questions? I'd love to hear some stories. Anything that you've used frankincense for that you could. You're welcome. Absolutely, Antel. That you'd be willing to share. I'd love to hear how people have used it in their homes. It's one of those that if you don't have it because you ran out of it, get some. It's the best oil to have. Will it burn under the tongue? I have not experienced it burning under the tongue. I think it depends on the person. So everybody reacts to the different oils a little bit differently, and so try it and see, if it does get uncomfortable for you. I mean, it's not going to give you a chemical burn, right? It's not anything like that. It might just be uncomfortable. I mean, kind of like peppermint. For some people, peppermint, feels more warm than for others. Frankincense is not a warm oil. So it's not going to get warm like peppermint might. Like peppermint, I think would burn under the tongue. I know I put it on the roof of my mouth the other day, and it was quite warm. So different people react differently, but I don't think it should. So even if you don't use a full drop, just put a little dab on your finger, even just some residue from around your cap or something, and just stick that under there and see what happens. And if it does become uncomfortable, a little bit of carrier oil should just rinse that right out. Just put a little bit of carrier oil on your finger and wipe it around, and that should help out. Should you wait to eat or drink after you put an oil under? Oh, that's a great question, Antel. I don't think so. So it takes about 3 to 5 seconds. Is I've heard different numbers from different people, somewhere between about 3 and 5 seconds. So yes, wait about 3 to 5 seconds. After that, you should be good to go. Because again, it's not like taking medication and going into your stomach and having to digest. It's getting right into your blood vessels that are under your tongue, and that happens very, very quickly. So wait the 5 seconds, maybe 10 just to be safe, and then you should be good. Great question. Anybody else? What other questions do you have? Absolutely. Yeah, my pleasure. Could you overuse it? I have not heard of being able to overuse any of the essential oils. I think like anything, doing too much of a good thing may not be good. If you're putting it on your skin, that should be fine. If you're putting it under your tongue, that probably should be fine. If you're ingesting it, if it is something that could upset your stomach, obviously the more you put in, the stronger that upset might be. So just be aware of that. But in terms of it like actually doing damage to your body, no. It's going to, if using them every day, no. The body's going to do what it needs with them, and it's going to flush out what it doesn't. Part of why you really want to make sure that you're drinking lots and lots of water, right? But beyond that, it's not like taking a medication where, taking it every day and, I use more one day and less one day. That's not going to impact you with from any of the essential oils that I have heard. Again, definitely go out and Google it, look it up, see what other people have experienced. But everything I've read is that, one of the beauties of the essential oils is you can use them as much as you want, and it's not going to hurt you. It's only going to continue to benefit you. Now, there is a point, I think, of diminishing returns, right? So you use so much, and then the benefit of using more isn't as great as what you were seeing before. So there might be that issue, but in terms of it hurting you, no. Oh, excellent. I'm glad the lemon worked for you, Heather. That is fantastic. I'm curious, how did you use it? Did you put it in water? Did you stick it under the roof of your tongue? What did you do with it? I'm noticing a little bit of a of a delay in the video to responses, which is fine. Under the tongue. Perfect. Good deal. And lemon is just a fantastic flavor, I find myself. So excellent. Good. Any other questions or stories that you want to share? We're just over the 20-minute mark. All righty. Perfect. Well, then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. As always, if you think of something, feel free to come back. And roof of mouth. Oh, roof of mouth. Okay, no problem. Yep, it's still right in there. Excellent. Glad that worked for you. Where was I going? Oh yeah, a couple of things. So tomorrow night is really exciting. We're going to be talking about Copaiba. So if you know anybody who could use a little bit of relaxation or some help with, I'm trying to think of how to say this in a compliant way, uh, with their bodies feeling comfortable. There. If you know anybody who needs some help with getting their bodies to feel comfortable again, bring them. Have them come to the Copaiba night. We'll be talking about that. That'll be tomorrow. And then, of course, if you're with us right now live, or if you're watching this on the recording, if you are not a Young Living member, if you don't have oils in your hands and you want to get some in your hands, give me a call. My wife and I, Kim, we'd love to help you out. We'd love to talk with you about how to get the oils in your hands, share some of our oils with you so you can experience them, not just hear some of our stories, and see what they can do for you. My number here is 810-207-5115. Our website is oilyourhealth.com, and our email address is oilyourhealthyl@gmail.com. All of that is on our profile on Facebook here, so make sure you also like our page and stay up to date with additional classes that we're going to be doing and other information we're going to be putting out. So cool. Thanks, Heather. Glad that you enjoyed it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Hope you have a great Wednesday evening. Get some good sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow as we talk about Copaiba. Have a good night.